Good morning, friends. The awkward silence of not knowing if we're online yet or not, because there it is. Okay. What's up, Josh? So I get a little pop-up
Hey.
that says that we're now streaming on Facebook, and normally it pops right up. That time it waited like 10 seconds. That
Yes,
awkward,
exactly.
like, am I online? Don't you love it when people just like stare at the screen, not realizing that the Facebook Live has already started?
Yeah, I
And it's
love
that
it. I love it when somebody says to their assistant, "Hey, are we live?" You
Are
know,
we live? Now, okay, Josh, is that real coffee or is
it
it
is real
water?
coffee. I brewed it specifically because I thought it was appropriate with the coffee chat, but I just finished it, so
Nice. Good for you.
maybe one last sip.
Good for you. I've got some coffee and I've mixed at Lucy's. We just started serving today a spiced pumpkin cappuccino.
No, you
So it's a
like
mix today.
you went for the spiced pumpkin stuff.
I did. I'm normally a black coffee drinker
Me
9 times
too.
out of 10, but this was brand new today. So I
You
I
have to
went half
try
and
it.
half, and it's
You
good.
have to try it.
Yeah. Get over to
Well, I
Lucy's
got
and I'll buy you a cup.
okay. That's good. Well, I got to say, I'm that one person, and probably everybody's going to dislike me on Facebook, but like, I'm not a fan of the pumpkin spice anything.
You know, I get it. Is it the spice part or is it the pumpkin part? Because Beth
It's
is like that.
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a bandwagon guy. You know what I mean? Everybody's like,
No.
"Woo!" I'm like,
Yeah, you
no.
just a little weird, Josh. But
Yeah,
hey, I still love
I
you.
know.
Still love you.
But you and we're kind of black hardcore coffee drinkers.
We
I
are. We are.
don't
Yeah.
I don't put much in mine. So well, this is good, man.
I'm the
Good to
same
see you.
way. Hey, good to see you too. Thanks for joining me. Coffee Chat listeners, watchers, thank you for being here. Viewers, if you're catching this on Facebook or the podcast today or YouTube, I want to thank you for tuning in. I love doing the daily coffee chat with each of you, having these conversations, and thank you so much for your support. Number on the screen is if you have a question for me or a recommended topic, or Ryan, have you ever thought about bringing this person onto the coffee chat? Please text 833-792-6372. Josh is one of our keynote speakers for MegaCon next week. Before we went live, we were talking about MegaCon. I can't wait. It's coming soon. Josh, God always uses you to speak. We've already been texting each other about MegaCon 2021.
That's right. We
Don't
sure
want to
have.
make any announcements about that yet, but God just uses you when you speak,
And
and
that's very encouraging. Thank you.
such a gift to this community. We're gonna talk. I want to talk at the end a little bit about all the stuff you've got cooking, because you've got so many things going on right now as you serve the children's ministry community. Leadvolunteers.com. And your Science at Home. There's a volume 2.
There is.
What's
Yeah,
it called? It's not Science.
It's called Faith Lab at Home.
That's
So I have
right.
season 1. I have season 2.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's going very well.
But Josh, we were talking the other day about building these are your words, a secret infrastructure.
Right.
I love that. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I would say that okay, first of all, I am a systems guy, Ryan.
Yeah,
I
you are.
love to build systems that end up serving me, right? Well,
Yeah.
during the corona, we have this unprecedented opportunity when we don't have as many people riding the roller coaster. And so
Yep.
we as administrators, maybe we should work on the roller coaster when the park is kind of closed. Does that
Yep.
make sense to you?
Yep.
And so building your secret infrastructure, it's not pretty, it's not glamorous, it's not cotton candy, but fixing and building the infrastructure while people aren't on the ride provides a significantly smoother ride when people will be back on the roller coaster.
Boom. Did you just make that up, that whole roller coaster analogy?
Well, I was texting you last night and it came to me. So
That is good.
but
I heard John Maxwell say that same thing 2 weeks ago on his podcast.
oh no, you did
No,
not.
I didn't. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, that's good, because here's a temptation. You're right. I think the temptation is coast through right now. Things are going to come back. When they come back,
Then I'll
but
build.
this is not the time to coast through.
No, it is not. This is the time to do, okay, there's 2 types of work in ministry, in my opinion. There is people work and there is process work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when people are at the amusement park, you got all kinds of people stuff to do.
Yeah.
Well, unique season, right? Where the
Yeah.
people work has been, in a sense, reduced. Well, now it is time to shift gears. Now, I got to tell you,
Mm-hmm.
You know, you and I talk about these things a lot.
Yeah.
We need to be, because sometimes it's hard to work on our ministry when we're
In it.
like knee deep in working in the ministry.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
working in the ministry, like it has changed a little bit. So
Mhm.
my encouragement is, well, here's a great proverb that I think about and I ponder a lot. It says this: he who is slack in the day of distress, his strength is limited.
Mhm.
So I don't know about you, but this is a day of distress. It's been about an 8-month day of
Yeah.
distress.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you're slack in the day of distress, your strength is truly limited. So I think I've seen two types of leaders, Ryan. Um, I've seen leaders who were diligently working toward having a robust,
Mm-hmm.
deeply cared for team, and they had systems in place
Mm-hmm.
to make that happen. Corona hit, and that team was with them the entire time.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
flip side, I've seen a lot of leaders who had a set of recruits and a set of maybe thinner relationships, and the
Mm-hmm.
corona hit, and that has kind of evaporated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, what do? Well, I think you strap on some diligence and you start to build the system, no
Mm-hmm.
matter where you're at, right?
Mm-hmm. I love that. Josh, what would you say? Let's get real practical from it. I love
Okay.
this. I've said this over and over. You and I are on the same page. I think one of the silver linings of this pandemic is it has allowed us the opportunity to really evaluate and make some tweaks and improve. What's that look like? Building a secret infrastructure. What are some things I need to be looking at? You mentioned people, processes. Do I need to look at, like, break that down for us a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. So I think that part of the process building, and there's all kinds, and so there's all kinds of ways to do that. I'm going to jump into some super, super crazy specifics. Okay.
Okay.
They aren't that glamorous. They aren't even that fun, but
Yep.
I'm going to go so micro detailed. Watch this. When it comes to having a volunteer be able to self-identify whether they had a triple, a home run, or whether they whiffed it, that's important. So
Mhm.
in the ministry that I ran, we had name tags, and on the
Yeah.
front side, well, see, here you go. On the front side was their name, and on the
Uh-huh.
back side was 3 simple bullet points. Now, hear me out.
Now, is
These
this for the
aren't
kids or volunteers had these name
absolutely
tags?
100% volunteers.
Volunteers. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was far harder than it sounds, but for every job description, I created 3 small bullets, and those small bullets were not complete sentences, and they were action oriented, as in it's binary.
Mm-hmm.
Yay or nay. Did you do it or did you not? Let me give you an example. So I think of game guy, right? I mean, in children's ministry, you got to have yourself a game guy or
We
a
do.
game gal.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So for the game person, it's very simple. I want them to, number 1, share the instructions of the game in under 3 minutes.
Yep.
By the way, Ryan, have you ever been a part of a game or watching a leader and you're like, dude, we're
Yeah.
12 minutes into a
Yeah,
20-minute
get into
game
it.
time? Kill it, man. So 3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a measurable. Number 2, use a kid's first name, just one, and look them in the eye this week and pray for them. So look a kid in the eye, use their first name and pray for them. Did you do it or did you not?
Mm.
Number 3, connect with one parent socially. That's it. So all of a sudden, now watch carefully. There's several big wins to this.
Yeah.
Number 1, if I'm recruiting a game person and they're like, oh my word, every single person is wondering in their mind, what does this role mean for me? We're all a bunch of selfish people, right? And so
Yeah.
as soon as we're recruiting somebody, somebody's like, whoa, 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 what's this going to mean for me? Well, it's very simple. 3 things. Can you share a set of game instructions in under 3 minutes? They're like, yeah, sweet. Can you look at a kid in the eye and pray for him? Yeah, I could probably do that. Can you connect with the parent? And they're like, yeah, that's simple. So that's all I have to do. And my response is, if you do those things, the kingdom of God will move forward. So that's on the recruiting side.
Mhm.
Now watch this. On the training side,
Yep.
it's very simple. I can revisit those things with that particular individual. By the way, will the kingdom move forward if some kids gets prayed for? The answer is yes.
Oh, yeah.
Will the kingdom move forward if a parent is more deeply connected? The answer is yes. So watch this. We now have a training mechanism. And so, Jim or Connie or whatever, we're getting ready to release for the night. And I'm like, hey man, how did it go? And they're like, yeah, I think it went okay. It's now no longer, hey, I don't know what I did. I hope I helped. Now we have some metrics, right? And so my question, hey, 3 minutes, did you hit it? He's like, no. Okay, man, you got next week. But he has some identifiables that he can gauge for himself. Okay. Now, the last thing we talked about, recruit, that served us, train. And now from a retain standpoint, without question, he now has the feeling of success. He's not like this. By the way, I got a terrible story. You want to hear it? Here it goes. There was a guy who was my game guy.
Yeah.
Before he was a game guy, he was the Awana commander. Now, why did he become the Awana commander? Because he was just so committed. And I thought, well, the most logical thing is to bring him to the highest place on the org chart. Yeah. Well, he wasn't gifted in that. And so every week he was struggling. He's like, what am I supposed to do? Well, I kept sharing. It's MBWA, management by walking around. And he just couldn't get it, right? Mm-hmm. So he called me on the phone, right? And he said, Josh, I feel like the fat kid in junior high all over again every week. I don't know what I'm doing. And so we quickly shifted him to the game guy. And then he came up. I walked up to him one week. This was 7 years in to him staying in that role. We're talking about retention, right?
Yeah.
He stayed as the game guy for 7 years. And I walked up to him, tears in his eyes, and he said, I missed my calling. I should not have been a CPA. I should have been an elementary PE teacher.
Really?
So hear me out. Recruiting makes it easier. Training makes it easier. And a simple job description helped retain him because he knew what he was doing, and it was within a set of giftings for him.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
Go ahead.
No, I'm really intrigued with that idea of a job description as a retention tool.
Yes.
Because a lot of times you think of it almost as a tool to help people understand this is what I expect of you and this is what you can expect of us, but it really can be a retention tool.
It is, because they feel a sense of security and safety with what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that in the lead volunteers material, of the 10 factors in retaining somebody, that's number 5, is having a metric for success.
Yeah. Don't you think, Josh, that we spent in children's ministry, we talk a lot about recruiting strategies.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about, here are different tricks and stuff you can do to recruit volunteers. I don't know that we spend enough time talking about retention.
For sure.
Because I think the minute we're short on help, we assume I've got a recruiting problem, when in fact you may have a retention problem.
Guaranteed. 100%.
Yeah, if you could just shut that back door and keep people from quitting or dropping out, you wouldn't have to recruit as many people on the front end.
And I don't want to lose the good ones that God has already given, right?
Yeah.
And so in the lead volunteers material, I always start with retention, because if you can create the systems, the secret systems that are going to retain people, then you're not bringing on new people only to drop off the backside.
That's it.
So one micro thing is to come up with simple job descriptions for every single area. Now here's another one. This is one that has blown a lot of people's minds. I don't think it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
I doubt you will, but some people did, right? I have about 40 in my drafts folder for emails. I have about 40 completed emails of common questions that people send me all the time. When I was a children's pastor for a decade, I had, somebody's going to get a hold of me about that. Somebody's going to get a hold of me about infant dedication. So I wrote a really good email once, and then I modified that. So I call it like having my email drafts work for me. So I had 40, and I have 40 common things. Okay, so watch carefully. If I'm going to be recruiting somebody for the game station, I'm going to have a draft email that has that I've already written.
Yeah.
That has those jobs, that has the attached onboarding process. And so then I've gone ahead of the curve. And then when I'm on the phone with them, right, and they say yes, at that point, I get off the phone, I make 2 modifications, insert their first name, and I have a wonderfully written email. Here's what usually happens.
Yep.
You get on the phone, you recruit them, and then you're like, okay, my goodness, I've got a lot of work to do now. And you got to start pounding out an email that thanks them. How come I couldn't do that ahead of time?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So those are the secret infrastructure wins that a children's pastor could have in the can.
Mm. And what a time to build this stuff.
That's my point.
Yeah, that's it. During such a time as this.
Yes.
Josh, tell us in our last 2 minutes about leadvolunteers.com.
Absolutely.
I feel like I know about it, but I don't want to
Yes.
assume everybody who's listening. I know there are a lot of, look at you, you're going to share your screen.
Is that okay, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. Simple enough.
Take 2 minutes. Tell us, if you go to leadvolunteers.com, what are you going to find?
Yes. Well, it's a master level course, master level online course to get organized, retain volunteers, and prevent your very own ministry burnout. Now, if somebody is a member, they have access to a lot of things, one of which is the dashboard. Now, watch carefully. These are 4 individual standalone courses to recruit, train, retain, and hopefully, of course, multiply. Now, notice it said start here, right? Well, this is the framework, and these are the 10 different factors that somebody should really dial in order to be successful. Now, watch carefully. Oh, didn't think about this. You are shipped a set of leader books, and you do 4 simple things. You read, you reflect, you watch, and then you make a lead volunteers decision. Now, let's jump into relationships, right? Now, this is relationships among volunteers. This is not relationships with me to a volunteer. So here's how it kind of works. You read a little bit in the leader book, you reflect a little bit, you watch. Now, look at this, Ryan. These are not 30-minute sit and get videos. This is a total of, what is that? 10 minutes of videos. And then these are all of the downloads that someone could use to implement a strategy right now. Now, Ryan, do you know what DIY means?
I do. Do it yourself.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yep.
So this is a DFY strategy done for you. You print these off and you are automatically set to pour into the bucket of relationships. So I don't want to waste too much of our time, but it is a done for you, fully developed course. And so this is the recruiting module, right? You can download the leader book, but of course we ship it to you. And by the way, don't you realize that most people think that recruiting starts when you pick up the phone, and nothing is further from the truth. There are so many things to do ahead of time. So that is leadvolunteers.com, master level course, super fun, a lot of work, but a lot of fun, right?
Yeah. Well, you've done such a great job, Josh, at building something that so many KidMin leaders need, and you put these tools in place. You're going to save them a ton of time.
I have to say, Ryan, in conclusion, if somebody is thinking in their mind, good gracious, I appreciate the idea that Ryan and Josh are saying that we need to have a secret set of systems. This is a fast track to make that happen.
Yeah, it is. And I would just encourage all of you that are watching or listening, if what Josh has said to you has connected with you and helped you, and if you have heard Josh speak before, you followed him online, listen to his podcast, and you know, like I do, that he gets it, you really need to go check this out. Now, before you, I don't have the web page up, but before someone commits to buy, there are some things where they can kind of test it a little bit. Don't you have some free videos and stuff?
Yes. If there's 3 free videos, there's also this wonderful thing here. It's called the 2020 Vision, 2020 Volunteer Vision. And you can get access to the video vault, to the archives. There's a lot of content here.
I love it.
So look at that. Lots of little just short videos to inspire. So there's plenty of things, plenty of ways for someone to connect. I would say the easiest way is to get 3 free videos, right?
Yeah, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Denhart, leadvolunteers.com, sciencevbs.com. Josh, you're a good man.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. You too, man.
Will you send our love to Sarah? Tell her we said hello.
I sure will.
And it's going to be great to see you next week at MegaCon online. I wish we were going to be together in Nashville.
That's
but It's still going to be great to see each other.
And I'm excited for October 2021 as well.
Me too. October 5 through 7. We'll launch the website next week. It's going to be exciting. A lot of new things coming in 2021. Josh, thanks so much. I love you.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. God bless. Have a great one.
You too. Friends, go check out leadvolunteers.com. I know it'll help you in your ministry. Hope that this chat today was an encouragement to you. There's still time to sign up for MegaCon. Remember, there are free tickets available. Just go to kidmennation.com. Free tickets at kidmennation.com. And we've got a lot of new downloads for you over at kidsmatter.com. Go check those out as you prepare for this weekend. New games being added every day. New curriculum, new songs, all kinds of good stuff. Those of you that are members of Kids Matter Pro, you're going to get your free downloads for October today, this afternoon. So be watching your email inbox. Friends, thanks for joining me for today's coffee chat. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Have a great day.